Hey, it's Jake with Churchfront. In this video, I'm going to show you the video editing workflow I currently have set up for producing our online worship gatherings for Mission Lakewood Church. Looking at my screen right now, you are seeing Final Cut Pro. This is the video editing software I prefer. It's one of many great video editing softwares out there. You've got Final Cut, you've got Premiere, you've got iMovie, you've got DaVinci Resolve. Just pick one, choose it, learn it, and you're going to be able to make some great videos. So as you can see on the timeline here, we've got the full service that we have a 15-minute countdown. We've got music. We've got our pastor preaching a message from a tent. And then we've also got more music. And then we've got our pastor, again, he's by the tent at the end. So the gist of our services at Mission Lakewood have been us trying to record high-quality music in my studio, and then our pastor likes to go on hikes. We're sponsored by Patagonia at our church, so we can actually, go on location and film his sermon. It's a really sweet deal. Just kidding, we're not sponsored by Patagonia. I think it would be awesome if we were, though. So I just want to walk you through how I have my workflow set up, how I store all of our assets to keep things organized, and then I'm going to kind of walk you through a little bit more of what's going on here with all the different cuts and transitions, how I balance audio, all of that fun stuff. The first thing you always want to take care of when you're working with creative assets is you want to stay organized. So we have all of our media stored on one of these hard drives. So these are the G drive, solid state drives. Love these things. They're a terabyte. You can get up to 2 terabytes, I think, with one of these drives. It gets a little pricey, but these drives are very fast. A terabyte is usually plenty of space to last you a couple weeks of making high quality sermon content, even when you're filming in 4K. So on the drive, I have labeled Mission Lakewood 1 terabyte. You're going to see we organize it into different folders. So this probably could be more organized than it is, but it works. The first folder, Audio Multitrack folder. So this is where we store the Pro Tools sessions that we record to when we record the worship portion of our services. You guys know I've been using Pro Tools, using Luke Hendrickson's template, spending all my money on plugins to have a fantastic sound. It has totally been worth it. So here is the template, and here are the tracks we recorded from last Sunday sermon. This is the same audio that you're going to see here in this project, just for the worship music portion. Our pastor's preaching isn't in here. So we record everything to this. We actually rehearse, and we're recording during rehearsal, and then this last half of the project, that's our actual true takes. What's cool, though, is when we record our rehearsal, if we mess up during one of our takes, like we might mess up a line of a song or maybe botch a chord progression, I can easily go into an earlier take, and I can cut and paste things into the final take that we're going to end up using. So that is the magic of post-production. And then once I've got everything cut properly, then I go through and I mix everything to this master burn track. This is set up to be very convenient within this template. And then I go ahead and I bounce out this master burn track to a final audio file, which then I put here. I kind of put it in the same folder as our footage for that week. So here you're going to see this WAV file. This is the high quality music audio for this particular week. And then down here, we have the video file. So this is the file that we're capturing out of our Blackmagic ATEM television studio. It's taking 3 camera angles, lower thirds lyrics, and then I put the letterboxing on this video as well. And this is the final product. So when we actually create this video file, what's happening is the audio from our Pro Tools template is going straight into Wirecast, and it's combining it with the video feed as well. And we're just using Wirecast to combine the ATEM video feed with the audio right now, and then just capture a video file. That's it. We're not streaming from it because we're doing a simulated live stream that I end up using Ecamm or Restream.io to actually push the content online. And then Ashton Turner goes and he's been filming our pastor on different locations for the sermon part of it. And then he goes and edits it down. And he actually sends me this project. It basically looks like this, where it's just the pastor talking, and he adds in some titles and some other B-roll footage for scripture readings and fun stuff like that. He also uses the music bed to go get our licensed music there to add some background music to the preaching. He even has some sound effects. So we're really trying to create content for an online platform and really take the time to be creative and really just kind of go the extra mile with our edits. Even adding, these rain and wind sound effects when our pastor's talking about, being caught in a storm.
It was maybe 3 a.m. and the storm was just racing through the valley that we were sleeping in. the rain began to patter on the side of the tent, and then it came down harder and harder. But it was okay because the tent was waterproof. The wind, it picked up and it got faster and faster, but it was okay because the poles, they held tight.
It's very subtle, but I think it's a great way to enhance the illustration, and that would be much more difficult to do if you were preaching live and you had to cue all these sound effects on the spot. So Ashton sends me all of this, everything that our pastor does, and he basically sends over the full Final Cut Pro library here. And then we had our children's pastor, family pastor, do some pre-show announcements. So he just shot these at home on his phone. They're kind of funny, but it's like, hey, you know, here's some different things going on. You can join Alpha. You can join our prayers that we do. And he just filmed these very simple little commercials because we want to have some sort of countdown announcements going as our live stream fires up. We don't want to just have 15 minutes of just a countdown at the beginning of the video. So you'll see here what I did is I have the countdown video going. I got this countdown from visualmediachurch.com. They got lots of great assets up there. You'll notice there's this countdown video down here that has like the cool tree graphic and the countdown going on. I put our logo on top of it here. So of course, if I wanted to move that around, I easily could. And then another cool thing about Visual Media Church is they had this 15-minute just overlay simple countdown. It's a transparent background with the numbers here. So what I did is I went ahead and I selected this entire background here. I lined it up with the other countdown on the video here. So I wanted to make sure that these numbers were going to be in sync. I had to do a little bit of adjusting to make sure that this countdown and this countdown were exactly on time. But then what I also did is I went and I cropped the transparent background here. So now I can just crop it, and then I can also just go ahead and transform, and I can move it wherever I want. So I moved it down to, where did I move it? Down to the bottom left here. So this is the one that I actually am using. So let me delete this extra one. So I moved it to the bottom left, and then I cut out this particular countdown during the times where we have the other countdown going. So it's a cool way. You can just like use these two countdowns going simultaneously. So then when we have these little announcement videos from our pastor, you can actually see him talking. We brought the countdown down here, and then watch what happens. You know, when it gets to the end of his little announcement video, it transitions back to this countdown right here. So all these countdowns and assets, I have another folder for. So we've got our Mission Lakewood branding, like our logos. I've got background music I get from the music bed. I'm really feeling Josh Garrels for some great background music. Then we got some countdown videos, and then we've also got some motion backgrounds because the reason I like using motion backgrounds, not only for like when we're using Pro Presenter, you can see in the video here, we've got some motion backgrounds going on right there. Again, those are Visual Media Church backgrounds. And then here are some more motion backgrounds being used underneath our scripture reading. So here, I go ahead and read scripture. I lift my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help from the Lord maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. And of course, too, for this motion background, I decided to put just like a little bit of a black overlay so that you can read the text well. If I didn't have that, it just makes it a little harder to read. So do a little black overlay on your motion backgrounds, especially if there's a lot of bright spots in the backgrounds, and it'll be legible for your congregation. So I'll just walk through and show you some of these transition points. So here's the beginning of the service, and you can kind of see what's going on here. We've got logo, countdown, background music, and we just started off pretty simple. So again, I just want to reiterate, a great place for some background music is themusicbed.com, and then go ahead and sign up for their nonprofit pricing for your church. And I think it's like, I don't know, very inexpensive, maybe $20 a month. Yeah, it's only $20 a month for the subscription plan, and you can basically use all the music in their library that's under their subscription plan, which is most of it. And there's a lot of great music there. And then you can add it to your videos like this, and you're fully licensed. You shouldn't have any problem. And even with like YouTube, I know there's like the sync ID feature with MusicBed and YouTube that works just fine. Just very, very powerful. And we've been streaming these videos to both YouTube and Facebook, no copyright takedowns or any issues like that. So then when we get to where our pastor, Jeremy, does a little announcement here, watch what happens. countdown switches down here. His video comes up.
Hi. I
We
didn't
even
see
change
you
out
there.
the music.
Since you're here, I wanted to be sure and remind you that Mission Lakewood Church at Home has prayer and communion.
And then coming out, goes back to this countdown. So that's the whole 15-minute countdown. He did 3 announcements, and then I played them each twice over that 15 minutes. And then down here, we end the countdown and transition to the service.
Welcome to Mission Lakewood Church at Home. My name's Pastor Darvin, and I'm so excited to have you worshiping with us.
The lav mic our pastor's using is the Tascam DR10L. Love this lav mic. I'm going to click here on the video and just kind of show you what's going on. This is a multicam clip in Final Cut, so they keep his mic rolling the whole time and recording, and then as they go around to these different shots, that he creates different video clips, but then Final Cut allows you to sync all that up within just seconds afterwards. And then I'll show you some of the processing we did to that mic. The EQ here, pulling down around 500, boosting around 4,200 hertz, doing a low cut. Sounds really nice and clean. I'll go ahead and show you that.
Rained harder and harder, but it was okay because the tent was waterproof. Then the wind, it picked up.
And then this is our compressor. I have it around just a ratio of 2, and then we've got the threshold down to -10. So I aim for around -5 decibels of gain reduction.
Faster and faster, but it was okay because the tent poles held strong.
So when you add a compressor to whoever's speaking or talking, it'll just really level it out. It'll sound nice and smooth for your audience. All right, so he's talking, then it gets to the music here.
Together.
Notice a little trick, like I actually separate the audio from the video so I can overlap the first downbeat of the song with the end of his video. So it's a subtle thing.
Whoever you're with, let us stand to worship together.
And here I already showed you how I have backgrounds. I've got a black overlay, and then I use titles for the scripture readings. And then we transition back to our pastor. We do 3 songs, and then he talks again. Here's a transition, sermon graphic. Just kind of zooming into it, give it a little bit of movement.
Last summer, I took my daughter backpacking
And then back to our pastor. And then he preaches his whole sermon, and Ashton did a little bit more stuff when it came to like the titles and all that. Not super complicated. And this raises another great point. If you look at what Ashton did here, see this footage?
Under whose wings?
We use a website called storyblocks.com. This video is brought to you by Storyblocks. You probably heard that from a billion YouTubers out there. I guess I got to get myself an affiliate link for them, and so I can say that this video is brought to you by Storyblocks. But it's a cool site because you can get a bunch of B-roll, and especially maybe your pastor's preaching on something, and you could have illustrative footage of it. We decided just to have some landscape footage on the Bible verses. Looks pretty cool. And their pricing is very reasonable at $39 a month. You don't find that in a lot of places. I also know a great place for footage if you use the Nucleus platform for your website, and you have Nucleus Social. Basically, Storytape is a part of that now. So check out nucleus.church. My friend Brady's got that up and running. They got some great filler footage as well. And then our pastor finishes up his sermon, and we transition back to worship.
Shelter in place.
And then we sang a song. What I really love about the post-production magic is this song in particular, we just messed up going into the bridge, but we were able to, start, at the instrumental before the bridge, make this little cut here, and you can never tell the difference. So watch this. This is the end of the first half of the song we did. This is where we cut it, and you'll never know. So in this case, what I did is, because we have a multi-cam cutting going on with our ATEM switcher, but it's always automated at the same exact time in the song, I was able to just find the frame of video where that cut was made right here, and it was just a seamless transition. So we end here. This is the last song, going into Darvin, our pastor.
Thanks for worshiping with us at Mission Lakewood.
He gives some calls to action at the end, to give, to serve, to get connected, all that good stuff. And then we have a simple little outro. All I did is put our website URL here. I put the music up. And I like giving the live stream about a minute to 2 minutes worth of just kind of dead time at the end, so it doesn't automatically just kick everybody off immediately. So that's a look at the video editing workflow we use to produce our online services. And keep in mind, these are pre-recorded services, and then we are doing a simulated live stream on restream.io. So once this is done, I go ahead and I just export. So I go master file, and then I press continue, ignore the errors there. And then for settings, I just put on 8.264, 1920 by 1080p. I export this rather large file, 9 gigabytes, and then that gets uploaded to restream.io, and I use their scheduler feature, and then I publish that out to both Facebook and YouTube at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on Sunday morning. I've got a ton of other content on this channel that covers a lot of these other steps I kind of briefly touched on in this video, such as, how do we go about producing, what you see here with the music. I have videos on the specific live streaming gear we're using and platforms like Restream or Ecamm. So check all those videos out. Be sure to let me know below in the comments what questions you have. Tell me about the setup and workflow you're using at your church. How would you improve on this workflow? I would love to hear from you. If you would like my team to come alongside you and equip you and coach you to move the needle forward in your worship ministry, then check out worshipministryschool.com. At Worship Ministry School, we have courses dedicated to how to use Ableton Live, which is what you hear us using here in this video. We also show you how to mix properly. That's a very important thing right now. As we're bringing our worship gatherings online, you need to know how to mix. It's just a really crucial step for having high quality audio for your congregation. We talk about ProPresenter. I just updated our ProPresenter course for ProPresenter 7, and it's going to show you exactly how to get ProPresenter up and running, how you can send out lower thirds lyrics like this. We've got our live streaming course, just so much, because there's a lot going on. It looks kind of simple here when you're looking at the end product, but to get it to this level, we're just leveraging a lot of different tools and software, and we can show you how to use all of them in worshipministryschool.com. So check it out, apply to join today, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Smash that thumbs up button if you found this video helpful. Share it with your friends in ministry, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos to help you grow yourself and grow your church.